Hello, my name is Patrick Manning, and the topic of my presentation is cognitive psychology in the real world. So I will be giving examples of cognitive psychology in social media, real-world applications, magazines, news, and TV shows. Perception. An example of perception is change blindness. Change blindness is the failure to notice large changes across scenes. An example of this is in the movie Titanic, where they had two scenes very close together, one with his hair combed and the other one with his hair not combed. This is an example of change blindness. Attention. Attention is defined as the act of concentrating and keeping one's mind focused on something. An example of this attention is selective attention, where one can focus on certain tasks and block others out. This is also known as the cocktail party effect.
What is the cocktail party effect? It's this phenomenon where, in the midst of a noisy cocktail party, any kind of noisy sporting event or newsroom, we're still able to focus in on the one conversation we want to hear and somehow tune out everything else. And how can now researchers, neuroscientists are very interested in this. Why is that? Why do they want to know where this ability comes from? It's part of this whole phenomenon of selective attention.
Memory formation. So an example of memory formation is retroactive interference. So this is when information you're trying to learn interferes with old information you already know. So an example of this is in the picture below. You're studying for a French test, and then you start studying Spanish, and then you take a French test. Now that studying for Spanish interferes with the words that you've studied for French. Memory retrieval. So an example of memory retrieval is eyewitness memory, which is a person's eyewitness memory for an event like a crime. Usually these are not very accurate, and when you have multiple eyewitness memories, they're very different. An example of this is shown in the clip below.
The grand jury ultimately rejected this notion, saying it lacked probable cause that an unarmed Michael Brown had his hands up in surrender. But how is it, in the seconds after Michael Brown was shot, that witnesses recording or recorded from 3 different angles testified to the grand jury wildly differing accounts of that critical moment? From this recording, audio from an unseen nearby man who says he saw Brown moving towards the officer.
Language. An example of language is sentence ambiguity. This is when a sentence may be interpreted in more than one way due to its structure. An example of this is in the picture below. It says, "Thank you. Your donation just helped someone get a job." You can interpret this sentence in multiple ways due to the period after "just help someone." Problem solving. An example of problem solving is the generate and test method. This is where one generates possible solutions and then tests them to find out if it will solve the problem. An example of this is in the video below, where Sheldon is on the phone with one of his friends, generating solutions to see if he is actually friends with him.
Just in time. I believe I've isolated the algorithm for making friends.
Sheldon, there is no algorithm for making friends.
Well, hear him out. If he's really onto something, we could open a booth at Comic-Con, make a fortune. See, my initial approach to Kripke had the same deficiencies as those that plagued Stu the Cockatoo when he was new at the zoo.
Stu the Cockatoo? Yes, he's new at the zoo.
It's a terrific book. I've distilled its essence into a simple flowchart that will guide me through the process.
Have you thought about putting him in a crate while you're out of the apartment?
Hello, Kripke. Yeah, Sheldon Cooper here. It occurred to me that you hadn't returned any of my calls because I hadn't offered any concrete suggestions for pursuing our friendship. Yeah, perhaps the two of us might share a meal together. Yeah, I see. Well, then perhaps you'd have time for a hot beverage. Popular choices include tea, coffee, cocoa. I see. No, wait, don't hang up yet. But what about...
So in that example, Sheldon is generating possible solutions and then testing them out to see if they will work. Imagery. An example of imagery is eidetic imagery. This is when one has the ability to remember images very vividly just by looking at something for a very short amount of time.
This week we have been featuring the art of Stephen Wiltshire in our series, An Early Beautiful Memory. He was diagnosed with autism at age 3, did not speak until he was 5, but today he is known worldwide for the beautiful panoramas he creates from memory. Over the weekend, Stephen began working on a 20-foot cityscape of New York. He is just about finished. He's nearing completion anyway. And CBS's Michelle Geelan is at the Pratt Institute in Brooklyn, where Stephen is working this morning. Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning, Harry. He's put a lot of hard work into it, and boy, has it paid off. He started all the way up here at the George Washington Bridge and then continued down through Manhattan, New Jersey, the financial district, and he's heading over to Brooklyn now. The detail is really the amazing part because, as you know, it's all from memory. So let's take a look at some comparison shots to some still photos of Manhattan. First, take a look at Midtown. And as you can see, the detail is absolutely incredible. Now the financial district. And the comparison shot, the buildings, the skyline. And then let's take a look at Liberty Island.
Next, we have categorization. An example of categorization is the knowledge-based view for categorization. So this is when we organize objects by what they are, not how they are similar or the features they are. So it's really organized by what they are and how they are related. An example of this is in the picture below. All of these objects in the picture below are desk and office supplies. This would be based on our knowledge-based view. They aren't similar in the way they look or the features they have, but they're similar in how they're categorized. Finally, there's knowledge. An example of knowledge is semantic memory. So this type of memory refers to our just general world knowledge that we have accumulated throughout our lives. An example of this is in the picture below with two children studying geography. Geography and knowing where the countries are is an example of semantic memory. Thank you for my presentation, and that is the cognitive psychology in the real world.